We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from our last meeting?
Yes.
All right. Can I motion to give an approval for the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Can I get a second for the motion?
I can say,
You would? Okay, so all those in favor say yay.
yeah,
All those opposed say nay. Right, the minutes are approved. Now it looks like we have two visitors. Okay, may I ask who you are?
Yes, I'm Janice Sealy, and I'm here on behalf of the Extension.
Okay,
She's under new business.
okay, oh, okay, never mind. And we have a second visitor, and this is my new neighbor, Betty Bear of Betty's Books. And Betty wanted to come and introduce herself to everyone. And I was out of town last week, but I need to let you know Chris Westmeyer is back from Scotland.
Oh, great.
Okay, and we are missing some members, but that's Allison, that is remote, you know the mayor. This is Jeff Sanders, which I believe you've met Jeff. I don't know that you've met Chris in person.
John Lewis is the one that's not here. John Lewis.
And John Lewis is not here, he owns the properties across the street from us, which is off Elm. And what used to be the Ascendant is going in there. And this is our representative, Amanda from Lot, which is down in the old, everybody calls it the old Whitman building, because that's we're old.
You've been here in Whitman's.
Yeah. And this is the mayor. So
Yes.
if you wanted to just talk to everybody, and I know you wanted to meet everybody and talk to them.
Yeah. Hello. So yeah, I'm Betty and I own Betty's Books. We are currently located over in the DeSoto building, the building that has Cyrano's in it. And my husband and I purchased the building there at 8772 Big Bend.
Nice.
Yeah, about a year and a half ago.
That's exciting.
And so it needs a ton of work. So we're currently working on all that. And Betty's Books plans to move in. Well, it was the end of August, but now it's looking like it would be the beginning of September. Well, that was taking a while, but that's okay. And and I live here in Webster. I'm on the BDC here at the city. And 2 kids, and I went around trying to introduce myself to some of the folks in the neighborhood, but I know we weren't there. Jeff and Chris was out of town. I didn't stop by Lock, so I'm glad I got to meet you.
Yeah, you should go in and check it out.
Yeah, I've heard great things about it, actually. But so anyway, that's me. Hello.
So if anybody has any questions or wants to talk to Betty about anything, I know there were questions about the mural.
I had something.
Okay, go ahead.
I wanted to know if you had thought about the moving of the stuff from one place to the other. I know that when Webster University moved their library, we did a community thing where we passed the books across the street and down the road. And I was wondering if you had thought about doing that with Betty's Books coming up to Crossroads.
Oh my gosh, thank you for asking that. Oh, there was I didn't know that they did that at Webster University, but there was an Instagram mural not a mural, an Instagram reel that showed a different bookstore doing that. And so many people sent it to me and were like, are you going to do this?
Okay.
I think it's a little bit far for us to do that. I think it's like a little over a mile. But I don't know, we might have to try to consider it because a lot of people were very excited about that idea.
Like it's a good community development.
Mm-hmm.
Let people know about your store.
Yeah, for sure. That would be major.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my 2 cents. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So the new windows are going in and they look great.
Thank you.
There is one window that's being left open at night, and I don't know if you know that.
Okay, no, I don't, but I was there yesterday. I can stop by today.
So I just didn't know because I didn't want it to rain in there because we're supposed to have storms, or I don't want somebody visiting your place.
That is-
inside that's not supposed to.
Or a critter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Thank you.
so.
I had one other item related to this. I met at a trivia last Friday night, some of the guys from the Anzac development.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
They are at least 1 or 2 of them might be interested in joining this committee. So if you have a chance to talk to anybody about that, because they were interested in everything that's going on in Crossroads.
Awesome. Oh, cool. Okay, Jeff, did you have anything you wanted to?
No, I don't think at this point, I want to bring that out on the table.
Okay.
Or the mural's far enough along, there's nothing we can do. I'm still not pleased that it got through the city without some kind of approval. It's just not in character for the neighborhood, and water under the bridge at this point. I'm more concerned about parking once you open, that people in your business are going to park on my lot, which belongs to my tenants. So
Right. Well,
we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah.
That's,
we've gone through the parking struggles before, so we kind of have to, I'm sure we're gonna have to work.
but if it does become an issue, then we'll be towing cars off the lot. We'll go back after the city, pull the special use permit, so.
Okay, anything else? So far the mural's going okay. We had a ladder in the walkway, but everybody was able to get through from the back to the front. No issues there. Everything seems to be going fine. I just want to let you know the window was open.
Yeah, thank you for telling me.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I was dropping off my notes around the neighborhood, I was sharing my phone number. So and I know Heidi, you have
Yeah.
it, but if like Jeff, if you ever have an issue, you can absolutely call or text me directly.
I don't work in the building, it's,
Right, but just like with the mural or anything, you can just call me. If you
Yeah.
want.
And our lot, we're behind our businesses is public lot.
Yeah.
And then once you adjust it, it's private lot.
Yes.
And in the past, when there is a lot of parking going on, there is a tendency to park over in his lot. And either employees of our businesses or patrons of our businesses have a tendency of parking down there. And we just have to make sure that
Right.
all our patrons and our employees know that they can.
Totally. We have not everyone reads it, but on our website, we have like a parking directions map
Right.
where we are currently. And so we'll update it to say like, don't park here, you'll be towed.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody parks where they can get a spot.
Totally
So
true.
that's
Yeah.
how that happens. So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
and even though this is on the agenda down the road, the 4th of July, close the parking lot, I block it off completely so that no one can park back there,
Right.
which includes everything behind Heidi's building and your
Right.
building.
Yeah.
So it's just a safety issue. We pull in restrooms, porta potties that we put on the lot. So I think, last year we probably had 200 people on the parking lot.
Yeah. It's like a picnic parking lot to watch the fireworks. And several years ago, it used to be that people could drive in there, park and have like a tailgate back there. But we had an issue with safety it was a very, very serious issue with safety, and we had to get the police involved because there was someone that just wanted to run over kids, which is not a good idea.
Yeah, because people are trying to find places to park, so
He's
they're
very
driving
angry,
through.
yeah, and it involved a bunch of parents and they were like rocking his vehicle. It was just, so it's an
Oh
all
my goodness.
pedestrian parking lot. However, if you want your vehicle back there early, because I go like super early to cut off the lot, so I'll have my vehicle back there, but it stays there the entire time until everything's, so I kind of open the lot and then clear the lot at the end. And that's pretty much definitely, you'll have a vehicle back there on your,
We'll
Maybe
come
if you're
there
there.
early on the
Yeah.
4th of July and we'll park there until it's over, because
Yeah,
I gotta
okay.
pull all the
Yeah,
barricades
yeah.
and do all that
so
stuff.
we put the barricades down and all that stuff, but I'll kind of go over that with you when we get closer to July. Okay. So, okay, anything else? All right, okay, so if you want to stay for the rest, you certainly can. You'll hear about streetscape and that kind of stuff. It's not published. All right. Okay, so now we're off to old business and we'll go to the streetscape project. Yay, my favorite, Samantha.
Yeah, the agreement with the engineer to design the streetscape elements under the St. Louis County's project was approved last night by City Council.
Okay.
And so next steps on that is we execute the agreement, return it to the consultant for their work to start. I'll get a schedule from them. Schedule including progress reviews by the city. I'll bring those because we meet monthly, we will be able to see those pretty much as they come in. I'm thinking it's gonna be a 2-3 month design schedule on this. And so normally design reviews are done by staff, but I'll make sure to incorporate the commission to it. And after this, the goal with this is to make this design a part of the St. Louis County's project, so that everything is submitted together. And they require more reviews and approvals for their project because it's a federal project, grant project. We don't have a grant for our part of the project, but they're gonna go hand in hand, get the approvals as such, and then I think the county is wrapping up the design in the fall, and then they're getting into any right of way acquisition. Anything needed, I don't believe there's that much needed, easements and such, for getting ready for construction in the federal fiscal year 2027. The light standards are matching those of the Old Orchard Business District. I've been asked to make sure that they're dark skies compliant also. Those fixtures, we'll make sure of that. I believe they will be, but I'll make sure of that during design. As well as LED luminaires. I think it's gonna positive that they're gonna be LEDs.
Just if you wouldn't mind me adding, that really comes from several council members who are very interested in dark skies. And the last thing we want is for us to adopt dark skies, which we may within the next year or so, and then have just installed or about to install something that's not compliant.
Right.
So it just conforms with what we expect to be something the council works on in the next year or two.
And then we don't know total number of lights yet until we get the total design.
The design, yeah, but that's gonna happen early on. Preliminary design layout will determine the number of lights, and that will be a good time to discuss it once again, because we can make input into the layout before it gets more detailed design to connect, terminate for those lights. Yeah, staggered design so far is what seems to be possible along the corridor, but we will be able to cover both sides. It's just not going to be, the lights are just not going to be across from each other.
Okay.
Directly.
Exciting. Okay.
So now I have a question on the parking that they're gonna create on Big Bend, right? Is that, I'm trying to remember, was it gonna be on both sides now? South
Yes.
side and so, right? Do we know, will they create any handicap parking spaces in that block? On the street parking? Because I know I have a tenant that is the hearing center. She's asking for a closer handicap parking spot because they have a veterans contract. And I'm sure that there'll be other people in the neighborhood that, you know, the only place there's handicap spots are on back sides of buildings and back lots. But there's nothing on the street.
I can ask for the county to design it into their street project.
There's maybe one somewhere mid-block on both sides.
That makes sense. Normally they require 1 in 25, and there will be as many spaces along the street project.
Because there's just nothing unless they park on the street and then they've got to go out into the street to jump the curb. Right. So, okay.
That's a very good point. I'll check into that and send it to the county as our request.
Okay, anybody else have anything for the streetscape update? All right, moving on to the Alma parking lot lighting update.
I have a few of these. They show very, there are, I think 3 copies of this. And so that's the distribution with, so those those lines, the circles, they show the light distribution with solar lighting. This is two light poles on the. They're very.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
And solar lighting is low wattage. They are great lights because they have the panels and battery boxes all on themselves. They don't need to be hooked up to anything. They're
They're solar.
17-foot tall, solar.
Solar. Okay.
Yep. However, the wattage is not enough. I mean, the distribution is not enough for us to be able to light the parking lot altogether with those because we're lighting from the edge. We're not like this distribution would have been great if we were able to put these lights in the center of the parking lot, but we don't have the space or the circulation for traffic for it. So it looks like solar may not be our option, feasible option in this case. And so the other option, which covers all our lot, is the wired Amaran light option. So this covers pretty much this too. The same locations, 10-foot. These have 10-foot arms on these. So the pole and the light source is 10 foot off the pole, and so it can be actually more directed right from overhead into the lot, and this provides coverage for the entire lot. These are standard Amaran lights, like you see along the streets, and so they are not gonna. I mean, they don't look bad, but they are just like standard lights. And they need to be wired, probably a meter. Although we have electricity there, we may be able to use some circuit for it. And this is a feasible option. I don't have a cost estimate on it yet. One of the things with this distribution is I think there's some spill back on the neighbor's lot, but there is a way to eliminate that on the light fixture, and so we don't have to have the backside. But this front side, it looks like it covers the lot and it doesn't spill over to the property to the south. And so the solar lights were $8,000 each. This is going to be only more expensive than that. And so it's going to be a costly undertaking, getting these lights, getting their conduits in place, buried conduits, and power them. And might have to trim some trees, but we can do that. The city can do that. I can pursue it further, certainly. And then we can appeal for budgeted funds. I know the district has funds. I mean, there can be allocations from the district budget as well, depending on our choice. But I think the first step I would recommend getting a price.
Okay.
And then from there, making a decision.
So the lights that are there now on the ground, are they low voltage lights?
Those are, no, those are wired lights.
They just don't put out enough light into the
And
parking
they're
lot.
just like,
Mhm.
what if we just went back to getting it seems like there was a light on the pole at the corner. I don't know if that's an Amaran pole or
I can look
I don't
into it.
remember, but we can look at it.
at least the power's there and you wouldn't have to run underground.
Dispersing light, this direction
never gonna
is
get it
a
to
problem
the
with
end
the
of the park.
neighbors. Yeah. Dispersing light this direction is not as big of a problem with neighbors. Because of the natural hill.
But at least it would light the entrance when everybody's coming in and out.
Can they up the illumination of the bollards?
I don't think enough to light the whole parking lot for people who are coming to and from the restaurants and Sylvie D's at nighttime.
Right.
Yeah, because of their location being.
Right. It was never a concern before because we didn't have that much going on at night in our business district.
Right.
So maybe look at an alternative cost for just putting one back on the
Okay.
camera pole. At least that's a quicker solution too.
Okay.
It's gotta be cheaper.
Okay. Okay, on the rooftop lighting estimate update, we're still working that to the end. There's 3 people, you should be getting an email here, Betty, from, the rooftop lighting people. You know how Old Webster and Old Orchard have the rooftop? Okay, so we're trying to put together an estimate on that. We're waiting on the Bagel Place and Sneed and Bob Hill property to respond to us. So as soon as we get that, and you should be getting your email this week, we'll have that estimate put together. I think the holdup there will be Mr. Sneed, but we'll see how that goes. We'll keep trying. Maybe we'll just throw an estimate, we'll see. So as soon as I have that, you will have that. We still have commission, we have a vacancy on the board. And Jeff has, have you been able to talk to having any representative from Schnucks come back on the board?
If not,
Okay, so we used to work on that one. I know that, Chris was talking to Anne Marie, but I don't think she's interested. Betty, we have a vacancy on our business district board if you would like to apply for it and become a member. Okay.
Not to put you on the spot or anything.
Yeah,
but, you know.
I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, anything going, it's not like you're doing it.
not till September.
There you go.
So that's my pitch for coming on the board.
Has anybody from Webster Dental ever been on the board?
No.
They probably wouldn't do it.
No. I've tried many times.
I'm sure they wouldn't.
Okay, so for new business. The 4th of July fireworks viewing plans. Do we intend to do the same? Because I'm sure that the Webster Kirkwood Times, Marty Schnarr is gonna reach out to me about the ad in the newspaper, and I assume that we're gonna do the same, or is there any different plan for what we're doing in our parking lot viewing area? Yeah.
Not that I'm aware, not that I'm aware of. No one's told me.
I haven't heard anything either.
Okay, so then we'll have to do the request for barricades to the parking lot and the request for porta potties.
Okay.
Is that, do we request them through you now?
Um,
Or do I do a formal request through someone?
special use permits.
So that I don't, that's a good question, because I know that there's a big police document about what gets closed off, and I thought that included parking lots, so I don't know whether this parking, but that was mostly for the parade, so I don't know if after the parade is part of that plan. So we should probably check Sinan and see whether it has to be a special use permit or whether it is just part of the overall city planning for the Ford.
Okay.
I don't know.
Previously, we've never had to do anything. It's just this
Yeah.
happened.
It's,
So
yeah,
I don't know.
we
who
just put
was-
our name on some.
And so that
List.
suggests to me that that's the police department's overall list for.
But somebody's got to order the porta potties and put them on the lot.
Right.
So,
Because those appear like
Eric did all
maybe
that.
3 days.
Okay.
And yeah, beforehand.
Eric handled
Fran,
all of that.
yes.
Yeah.
Eric handled if a special activities permit was needed, he ordered the porta potties, barricades, he
Okay.
took care of all of that.
And then just one year they forgot to pick up the porta potties, which got a little.
yeah, it was last year.
Yeah.
It's like,
Because people would appear out of nowhere and use them, and I'm like, are you sure?
You don't know how long it's been there. You don't know how long it's.
but typically they're there for the parade and for the 4th
Right.
of July.
Yeah.
So that
Mhm.
because the parade is like 4th of July, everybody would be
Yeah.
packed in there, and same reason is to close a lot for that.
Mhm.
Is there a police presence down there?
No,
Because I think that's something, because I've had vandalism happen. I don't go anymore because it's gone before and blocked off my parking lot, and like the kids, I've got kids drinking and it's turned into a nightmare, so.
We would-
But that's separate from this.
Yeah.
What happens up at your end is a neighborhood is doing that.
Oh. great.
Yes, and they do request the
We
stuff
need
to the city,
cops
but
down
it's not,
Now
it's
that we're
not
having
here.
bike cops, I feel like they should be, if we're gonna do that, like, that's where they.
in all the years I've done this, never had any police presence there, and so that's why,
You've had vandalism?
that's why I'm there, because.
Oh, you go?
I go because I'm babysitting the building.
I'm not-
It's- I
that's-
hate it.
Only had
I did
that
it once
one-
and it was, I almost had to call the police.
We
Yeah.
only
It was
had that one
ridiculous.
incident that 1 year, but we really only have like families on our parking lot. It's usually pretty okay. Just
Yeah,
a
it's
lot, there's
been-
trash left, you know, so.
I mean, I've got
we do a lot.
beers in my flower pots and it's frustrating, but. I'm not gonna go and like, it
It's
was
been-
not a good idea when I was there last time, because the parents started yelling at me, they're like, I'm giving my kids alcohol, and I'm like, well, they're not even 21. And they're picking fights and they're standing in front of old people who are trying to watch the fireworks go, and
Well,
I just-
there's people, yeah, it's been pretty good the last couple
Yeah.
of years, but in the past, people shooting off fireworks with all the people on the parking lot. Or sitting on air conditioners and stuff.
Oh my
where,
God.
It's like,
yeah, that's not good. I don't like it. But I'll go.
so, no, police presence would be wonderful.
It would be
They
nice.
just walk the street.
Yeah, so keep in mind that every single police officer works the 4th of
I will,
July.
I bet.
And it's
We're probably.
what
short.
everything you're describing happens both around different fire, and it happens around Ivory Crockett Park, and it happens around Larson Park.
Yeah.
So we have to operate on a call basis. So if there is something, call, do that, but there's just no way to cover the entire city. We are a 4th of July destination
Yeah,
town, we
right.
just are.
Mhm.
And that assumes even that our own residents will behave, and that's a pretty big assumption on the 4th
Yep.
of July.
But for the most part, I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
knock on for my thing.
One other note about that. So as you are, I'm sure all well aware, the grass is out of control in the railroad property, as it usually
As it always
is.
is.
We've never done this before, but we're actually citing the railroad for code violations.
The railroad or the railroad club?
No, the railroad, the north side is all the railroad, the south side is the club. The north side is what we're citing for, because the grass is just so high, and I've been in constant contact
Looks
with
like a
their.
prairie.
I know. And I know that's a huge 4th of July. I don't know that we'll get anything done before
Yeah.
then, but we'll see what happens. I mean, to be honest, I'm not sure we really have legal authority to cite them, but let's just try and see what happens.
Because the railroad club, for some reason, thinks it's the business district's responsibility to mow their grass and maintain their garden, and it is not. I mean,
Yeah,
we've gone round and
yeah,
round on this,
and-
and then they think it's the city's responsibility, and it is not.
And the last couple of years, we've had volunteers out to clean up
Yeah, it's on
everything.
Green Club, and they go on their
Yeah.
social media and they say how terrible the city of Webster Groves is, and this, this.
I know, I know. There are too many things like that. I can't take them personally anymore.
Oh, I do, these people are.
But yeah, so I mean, I've been driving the other side of that and monitoring the railroads area. So I haven't looked at the railroad club side.
Mhm.
See if is it time for us to call for some volunteers to go out there and give them a hand?
So we'll look,
Okay, let me know.
What they were not kind to the volunteers last year,
No.
so you're not going to get a good
So I doubt
response.
I'll doubt that
They were
anybody do it. They
Okay,
were,
I don't want to talk about that in the course of this meeting
Yeah.
necessarily, but I may
Right.
get some more
Yeah.
information.
So they're responsible for maintaining between the building and Big Bend.
the building in Big Bend and their grassy area all around the building. That's part of
Yeah.
their rental agreement. Yep, and their parking lot, and their fence, and their building. Okay. So when Marty's sure, I'll go with the regular, we'll check on the barricades and the porta potties. Jeff and I will be there on the 4th of July.
One more note about the 4th. I don't know if anyone saw that Parks and Recreation, we're gonna start a new run on the parade route since it's pretty much blocked off in the morning. That's not gonna happen this year. I think we didn't get word out early enough, or we've actually reached the saturation for the number of events our city residents would like to have. So streets will close at the regular 9 o'clock time. For a while, it was advertised that they would close at 8:30. But it'll be 9.
All right. All right, the Webster Arts Roundtable.
Hi, Janice.
Janice, why don't you come sit up here? I should have had, Betty, you should probably have too. It's just easier for everyone to see you all.
Anyway, I'm with the Arts Commission. I know I spoke with the with the Old Webster Trade Association yesterday, and some of them didn't know the difference between the Arts Commission and what we do, and the Webster Arts, which is a nonprofit. Our charge as the commission is really public art and to encourage and support the arts and help facilitate relationships. So we have a fairly new commission, and we but especially with the master plan, we're looking at how can we best support the city, support the business districts, and support the citizens with art. We have posters saying City of the Arts. What does that mean? And what do you want to see? How does it affect your businesses? How would you like to be supported? So we can make our plans as we go forward to say, to put a plan in place to say, how can we support our businesses, our residents with the arts? The arts are important to them. So with that, we want to start a series of roundtable discussions where we can just listen to the different stakeholders. We would like to see if the Crossroads Business District has individuals that would like to sit down with us, probably over breakfast. Just really briefly, an hour, just to talk about what the arts, what they would like to see the arts do in the area, what they think the arts add to their area, and what they would like to see the city do in terms of the arts, just to get an idea of where we need to go going forward. And that sounds great. So we'd like to find out, the type of interest, how you would best communicate that to get people to come into your area. Where would be the best place to have it? What time is that? Including not only time of day, but time of year.
And how do we get in touch with you to put that together?
My email is SEELESTL@AOL.com. And my cell phone is 714-642-3376.
Okay.
So we'll be in touch.
Yeah, be in touch, we'll put something together.
Okay, great, thank you.
Sounds awesome. Okay. Let's move on to the BDC update. And normally that's Julia, but then since you're on the BDC, give us an update.
Yeah, sure. The last meeting was rescheduled for actually next week. So I don't have a very fresh update, but we're working on a lot of like collective marketing initiatives again, like trying to do, Webster wide events. I think that slowed down a little bit over the summer as everyone's traveling and but that's something that is a big part of what we're doing. I don't know, Fran, what else?
That's the big focus right now.
Yeah. So
That and the coffee is scheduled for August 14th. That'll be at the rec center at 8:30 in the morning.
oh yeah, so
No, that's the happy hour. I
Oh, yeah,
apologize. That's the happy hour.
Happy hour at 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
no.
That would be an interesting day, wouldn't it? Start out.
Okay,
that way.
August 14th, happy
August
hour.
4th. They haven't confirmed a location yet.
Okay.
The
what time?
coffee is in September. I apologize.
Yes. September 8th.
Also, Green Dining Alliance, we are now a Green Dining Alliance city. I think it's July 17th, but I'll verify. Is the celebration of the city. And I think Sylvie D's is part of the green and Off Elm are both, is that not, do you know? If they're,
It'll be days might be.
I think Sylvie D's is, so they're doing a bike excursion on that Saturday, so you can hop from all the Green Dining Alliance businesses, and then a happy hour that evening, and I at Robust is to finish the day, because I think they're one of our
Bagel Union,
okay. So it will be through Crossroads as well as,
not Sylvia D's, it's Bagel Union.
okay, I knew there was one. But I will, Fran, if I get you the details of that, would you send it out just so people are,
Sure.
when you see hopefully a whole bunch of bikes that day, there'll be a lot.
And you mean bicycles?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I always, yeah, when people say bikes, they end up being motorcycles and I show up with a
No,
bicycle.
I,
Okay.
well, I mean, I can't say for sure there won't be someone, but it's designed for bicycles.
Okay. Okay, so the August 14th is the happy hour,
Happy hour,
and we don't know where yet, but what time is it?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Coffee is in September, I apologize.
The 18th.
Then they have decided to have, they have a subcommittee that is made up of, they call it the Retail Restaurant Collaboration Committee,
Mhm.
to work on these joint marketing Webster-wide things. They decided to meet the first Tuesday of the month at 9 o'clock at the annex. And that's just anybody that wants to come. It's different people every time. But they're the ones that are trying to, I guess you could say they brainstorm at that and then they bring it to the BDC and the BDC decides whether or not to move forward with it.
Okay. And then we'll move on to the city update.
Okay, I just have a couple of things. We passed the budget last night. You will likely see an article in the Webster Kirkwood Times, which the headline will be, it's a $1 million budget deficit. Scarier than it sounds. We passed a budget 4 years ago, also projecting $1 million budget deficit, in which we actually had a surplus that year. So part of this projection is based on no one can quite understand what's going on with sales tax. 1 month it's at its regular rate or going up, the next month it's stable, flat, or sometimes even slightly lower. So we projected a very, pretty much no increase in sales tax, which ends us up in this place. So I just wanted to temper that. We could end up in budget deficit and we have plenty of reserves and that's not a long-term strategy. But the headline is always a little scarier than what we really expect the end of the year outcome to be. And I will just say in front of everyone, Sinan and the rest of our staff, especially our directors, spent probably collectively hundreds of hours on budget related matters and really presented us with something that was frankly more workable than I thought was possible.
Awesome.
Good.
But that's fun. Okay. Anything else needs to be updated?
Don't think so. I'm sure I'll think of something later, but
As soon as we. And we don't have any idea what's going in the strike awning building or in,
I
haven't heard either, okay. And you haven't heard anything, have you, Jeff, on those two buildings?
No.
which two buildings are these?
You know, the striped awning that's next to architectures.
Yeah.
To the west, and then what was descended.
Okay.
Shipwreck building, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I think Christie was trying to buy that.
And John Lewis ended up buying
Oh, is that right?
it. Okay. Anybody have anything else?
No representative from the police department, but
Yes.
so I'll go talk to them. You know, in the past, we had some issues with people tagging stuff, and I noticed this week or last weekend. My dumpster got tagged again. There's stuff painted on some of the sewer coverings and stuff on the parking lot, so. It has not been an issue for years, but I think these kids are hanging out. And a bag full of beer cans and stuff by my dumpster on the weekend, so.
Please do.
I'm just gonna-
Yeah, please
I'm
do.
just gonna have them step it up,
Yeah, please do call and make sure that they know that.
walk down there and talk to somebody.
Yeah,
Because
We-
in the past, they've tagged the transformer box and, you know, next thing you'll do is start drawing up buildings. It's-
I've had a couple of
Stupid
people
stuff.
say something about the parking lot lights behind my building, but I'm not sure about that, so. As soon as I'll go over there when it's dark and find out if they're all working or not working and then send you an email. So, cause I'm unaware of any issues.
They're saying they're not working.
They say that they're not working, but then I went out there and, you know, the box is right outside my building. It's actually attached to your building and I just flipped them back on. So I didn't stay last night or go back last night, but I'll go back tonight to see if they're actually working.
So I had Strive there yesterday and I had some lights out, but, this is a kind of nonsense. No, that's not a big deal yet because it's on the dumpster, but
no, and I do believe there were some reports that same weekend in other areas of the city, so. But it would be nice for the police to know exactly where all this was happening.
One time I had it on my front door. So.
We reported those, the Ameren streetlights that were near the Bagel Union, I believe, one dim, one out. I don't know if they have been repaired yet.
I think somebody just turned them off, so they had darkness back there.
Yeah.
They were, you know,
I
the
have two
shenanigans.
lights. I have two lights there, but they're working, so.
Okay.
Headlights that were on the building that weren't working.
Right. Allison, do you have anything? We can't hear you. Okay.
It's sign language.
It gets the job done.
Should be okay.
You can-
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
I did get we did get the facade grant check. I wanted to say thank you very much for, I have to follow up on it. I think with Renee, with the Renee resignation, things got shuffled around, but we found it.
Okay, awesome.
And-
All right, everybody's good to go for our next meeting on July 16th?
Yep.
Is that good? All right, may I get a motion to adjourn?
Yep.
All right. May I get a
Got the
second?
motion.
Second.
And just seconds, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Awesome, we will see you in July.